This is Anthony Hannigan. Welcome back to musicmoose.org, headquartered right here in Carpendale, Pennsylvania. We are working on the mandolin, different techniques, variety of exercises, tidbits, things I know from just playing. Many of your experience collaborating with other fine and incredible musicians and getting all kinds of information that I can share with the Moose community out there. We welcome all feedback. And we encourage the feedback. We encourage use of our forum as well. Get on there and talk to one of our friendly staffs and get all the kind of information that you're looking for, whether you be beginner or advanced. It's all about the community and all about the networking. And that's what we're so proud of here at the Moose. Well, one of the big questions from Rose Amando was to work on some different strumming techniques. Now, I do not know if mandolin players, it could be I don't know, the checks and balance here. Does a mandolin player want to be known as a strummer? It's not a bad title, set aside for those mummers in Philadelphia many years ago when they have a parade, so we cannot knock them. Anyway, strumming is great, especially if you're just learning. You picked up the mandolin for the first time. It's a playground, and the traditionalists out there are not going to like this one single bit, so it's the risk I take as being an instructor and breaking ground here. We have the chop. C, G, D. It's fundamentally one of the principles of the mandolin only because of the society and I think of the association of the mandolin and Americana music. That being the bluegrass field, which that's what I grew up listening to. That's one of my most passionate, influential musics that I still listen to this day, and the music that I write and produce has a direct influence to bluegrass. But not everything. There's not a bluegrass tree out there. Let me just say that. Music is a wonderful universal language, and it's something that everyone can speak or somebody can certainly understand. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with one accent. So when it comes to strumming or keeping time on the mandolin, there's all kinds of possibilities. And I was just down in North Carolina, and I was sitting there with Mando Pirate, and he played a little song for me. And a very good friend of mine, Mr. Terry Gold, I was watching his style on the mandolin, and two separate styles altogether, two different backgrounds altogether. But the one thing that's in common is it's a whole different style on their own. So that's the one thing that I encourage too, is listen to some of the great players, and you'll hear the different rhythms. So it's keeping time is what we're going after. It's not so much the strum. The strum would be the technical term. So I'm going to call the chop, and bluegrass guys, you can email me and threatening emails if you like, because it's a strum, it's keeping time. There's the simple one, chop. Cut down that tree. Chop it, chop it, chop it. See? Now, the neat thing you can do, you can kind of, if you listen to certain music, some of the things that separate them is their timing kind of structure. And we've talked a lot in this series, in these last 30-some lessons, about timing, framing, and where everything kind of fits in its own little, in its space. We can also sit there and play the same thing and just kind of give it a more of a, kind of a swingy kind of thing. We can also kind of get real folky too. Or we can make it a little bit like kind of funkier too. all kinds of things we can do. The one that I'm going to emphasize the most is kind of like a picking kind of folky strum. So we're going to get into that. I wanted to kind of just touch base with it a little bit in this very first episode. Let's just go over them again so you can hear them all, and then I'll kind of touch base on each one of them. So let's just go through the chop. To the folky. Let it ring. That is some different strumming techniques. We're going to touch on the ones that have nothing to do with the chop right after this. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get going on this rhythm stuff.